Welcome to our fifth episode now of Musicking with T. And today I have a very wonderful guest, Ross. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your music and all that kind of stuff?
I'm Ross Salvosa. Um, I'm originally from the Philippines. I grew up born and raised in the Philippines and immigrated to Canada in the late 90s and with my family and did a bulk of my early music education in the Philippines. My aunt was my first piano teacher
Oh,
when I
cool.
was yes when I was a little boy, and studied with Mauricio Borromeo, Reynaldo Reyes, um,
Cool.
and I also studied with Emilio de Rosario,
Oh,
and
I'm jealous. Oh,
yeah,
so
and
cool.
also um, for my undergrad, I did study with Roberta Russ and Philip Evans at the Harvard Conservatory and the now Lynn University, and at the UBC with Corey Ham and Sarah Davis Buchner.
Cool.
And so um, that's kind of my background, musical education background. And I did briefly for about 2 years studied with an Argentinian pianist, Maria Rosa Ubiña. We call her Cucucha. I lived in Argentina for quite a while
Oh,
back in the
cool.
early 2000, so I speak fluent Spanish because of it. Um, what else? Oh, and I guess that's. I have so many more other teachers that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, yeah.
you,
And
you
you
know.
perform until the pandemic. You were performing a lot as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
I
And
was and teaching a lot.
yes.
Uh, but the pandemic was a shocker for everyone, I
I
guess.
know. It was like whoosh across our
I
face.
was
We weren't
actually in
expecting it.
Asia when that happened, when it
Oh,
started.
wow.
I, that was end of January, early February. I was in Asia. I had a master class and a concert engagement there, and I was actually in Hong Kong airport when I noticed the news, and with this whole coronavirus, and everybody was already wearing masks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Hong Kong airport was already providing masks. I
Oh,
mean, I grew up
wow.
in Asia, so
Which is a little different. Yeah.
I grew up in the Philippines, and wearing masks for us. I mean, we've been using it for like decades. It was most. I grew up with in our school. I was at St. Paul's Academy School. It's like a Jesuit private school. But every time someone was sick, they had to wear masks.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like for anything else but to protect other people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we're used to that.
Yeah, it's a lot
We're used,
easier. I,
yeah,
yeah, I always feel like I
I
can't breathe.
never felt it like as an infringement of my right because I'm used to that. I was like, okay, if I'm sick or possibly that I'm sick, I have to protect others.
Yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah.
when when I came back from Asia, I told my students, look, I'm gonna go online because I need to quarantine. And
Yes.
I already had that, and soon after that, the Chopin Academy released guidelines, and shortly after that,
Yeah,
it
everybody, yeah,
locked
we
down.
all moved
Yeah,
online.
it was that. Yeah, it went locked down. But I was fortunate because uh, I moved to Seattle in 2015, 2016,
Mm.
partially, like kind of a slow transition. And during that time, I maintained a studio here in Seattle and a
Oh,
studio in Vancouver.
oh, wow, that's so
And
cool.
because of the traveling back and forth, and sometimes it was challenging, I did a lot of the lessons online. So
So you're ahead of the
before the
game, as they say.
pandemic happened,
For your students, it wasn't a shock for them.
not
They kind of
not
knew
really. Yes,
them. Yeah.
yes, not really. And also I've already figured out most of the kinks and
Okay.
workarounds.
Yeah.
The workarounds and the software before Zoom and whatnot or FaceTime was still a lot more crappier.
Yes, yes. I remember
It wasn't
trying
a,
10
yeah.
years ago, I think it was, trying to teach on Skype. I mean, I
Yeah.
did it, but oh my gosh.
It was hard. It was hard.
It
The
was
sound quality
definitely
was just difficult. But
yeah.
one evolves.
Yeah. One
That's always
exactly. It's all about evolving. Yeah. Would you say that's probably your biggest takeaway from the pandemic is be constantly evolving? Or what is your greatest sort of takeaway?
I'm a gardener, so um, I know that my compost, however stinky it is, the rotten banana peels and whatnot, I can turn that into flowers. I know
Yes.
that. I know
Yeah.
that, and I've always been like that, I guess. So when situation happens, or like the COVID,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, at the onset of it, a lot of people were scared, and rightfully so. It was scary,
Yes. Yes.
health wise and everything. But part of me was, okay, this is a pile of compost, and I just have to figure out how to make flowers out of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
That's
that's
a
always been
really good
my
way of looking at it.
yeah, that's always been my kind of mantra in life. And
Hmm.
so when things happen, um, it doesn't quite phase me as much.
Hmm.
It doesn't because I don't have uh, like a pre-judgment. Like I don't have a judgment or a prejudice against things
Hmm.
that happen. I just in my head I think, okay, this is happening. This is happening and the situations around, like the whole universe lined up for this to happen. And so, what can I do? Then
Hmm.
I always go to that, okay, uh, how can I turn this into a flower?
Yeah.
How can I do my best around it? So
Hmm.
that's always been my strategy.
Your strategy. Yeah, I think that's a really good way of looking at how can I turn this compost into a flower. I really
Yeah.
like that. I might steal that from you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. While you're sort of what we're doing all this stuff, sorry, I'm on my phone, so I have to go back to my notes. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Ah, yeah, I didn't have my laptop with me, so uh, yeah. So for a lot of educators, like I'm talking to them, and I'm finding that a lot of them are they're tired, right? It's
Mm.
been a hard year for. I mean, I know myself, I'm tired. What kind of ways, because it is consuming this like online education, and as we sort of now are entering back, I feel like it's kind of like things are might be going back to normal, whatever that may look like. What kind of strategies can teachers sort of kind of keep their energy up and kind of keep going? Like, I mean, I think your approach again, it's like the flower idea, but what kind of strategies can Yeah.
One of the things that I enjoyed teaching online was that I can just go to the kitchen and get some food whenever you know, I'm I'm hypoglycemic, so I have
Oh, okay.
to always watch um, that I'm eating something.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would get very hangry. And so the perks of teaching online was, I ate better. I ate better and I was able to take care of myself better. And the takeaway from this whole thing, I guess, is to really, when we're teaching, we get tired because we go, go, go. We don't stop.
Yes, it's
We go, go,
true.
go, 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 go. And my students know now that sometimes I will snack right while I'm teaching because
I do that too. Yeah, I'm
it's
always snacking on
yeah,
something.
we're always go, 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 and we forget to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And with this whole pandemic, you can take it one way or the other. You can go one route, you can go the other route, and some people develop drinking habits, whatnot. I think this whole pandemic made me go really inwards
Mm-hmm.
and um, re in reassess how well I was taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the takeaway that I got from all of this was now I know how to take care of myself better.
Mm-hmm.
And not only myself, but by knowing how to take care of me, I learned how to take care of others in our
Mm-hmm.
household. Especially now that my husband and I were caring for my mother-in-law, who she has an early onset of dementia, and so we have to keep a tight schedule and a routine, and
Mm-hmm.
we work our lives around her. And so, how do we take care of ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Given the situation that we're out. So it has to do with perspective, and
Yeah.
I noticed that I get very, very, very tired when my mental perspective, when my perspective is a little bit out of whack. And so I learned to cope with it by I do every morning. I take it very religiously. I walk. I do
Mm-hmm.
walking meditation in the morning, and around our neighborhood we have a lot of wooded areas, and so I
Yeah, yeah.
trails, and so I do. I may seem like a very cuckoo person walking because I walk extremely slow. Like very, very mindful steps. So I do that every morning, and I make sure I do my yoga. So I get myself mentally prepared for the day.
Yes. Yeah.
And um, I since the pandemic, I know as I said, I went inwards and realized what habits were actually depriving me of
Yeah.
time,
Mm-hmm.
of peace of mind.
Yeah.
I used to watch like whenever I would finish teaching, and my husband and I would watch our shows and everything. And I noticed that really hampered my sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. So
It's very true.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now I don't. After teaching, I unwind. I do household chores, and I sit down and meditate. But I don't watch TV anymore
Oh,
because
not at all.
not
You
at all.
had a TV.
At
Oh.
night, no, because I have a hard time sleeping. You
Ah,
don't realize it, because you get so used to it, and then you get so used to waking up later and later and later, and like, why am I waking up so tired?
that's
And
true.
and
Yeah.
I did kind of like this looking inwards, and I saw, oh wait, this is really affecting my sleep. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
No,
off
it's
my
true. It's a bad habit that I have.
yeah, I'm off my devices after I teach because I've been on
It's
online
yeah,
because
it's exhausting.
I'm off.
Yeah.
I'm off my phone. As you can see, you probably noticed you're on my Facebook that I haven't posted
Yeah,
much on
you
Facebook.
haven't posted much. Yeah.
Because of that, I have reduced, and I've been reading more books.
Oh, nice.
So that
Nice.
yeah, so a lot of I think that's the takeaway of all this. I've learned to take care of myself more.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's I think that's really important.
yeah. And
Yes, go ahead.
no, yeah, and also it was a good experience because um, with online teaching, it was an eye opener.
Hmm.
How can I be more efficient teaching?
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
it's also that efficiency. I With online teaching, I became more efficient with stuff. So that's a good takeaway.
Yes,
When I
very
go
good point.
back to actually, I'm going back in person, full time in
Oh,
person.
very cool.
Yeah. And so I brought all of those streamlined approach. I'm bringing all those with me, and so yeah, I've learned a
Yes.
lot during this pandemic. To be honest.
Yeah. 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 Derek Chu, who did a workshop with us back in the November, he said, this is a time to learn. He's like,
Yeah.
we can't do other things, so let's learn. And I think, yeah, I think everybody I'm talking to, they're saying that they become more efficient as a teacher. They've realized what like to focus on and slow certain things down or speed up certain things. And yeah. Yeah.
I've learned half of the Hemlon, the Marc Andre Hemlon etudes during this year and a half. Like I have half more to learn before I
Oh,
start
that's awesome.
studying them. But yeah, it's a good time to
Yeah. Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
new repertoire and um, yeah, even my vocabulary as a teacher, I think, really deepened because I can't necessarily touch the hands of my
I
students.
know I missed
I
that part.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've learned um, to convey things even more briefly with
Hmm.
fewer words. And funny thing, I studied with Ken Broadway and Rolf Markham in Lions Bay.
Hmm.
They're for quite a while, and they're amazing.
Hmm.
One always the things that I admired about them was how precise their description, their words are. They can get you to like with just few words, bam. And I've
Yeah.
always admired that. And I started, this whole pandemic. I realized, oh, yeah, I think I see you, I see you in this approach. Like, oh, Rolf.
That's what I need to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So I
that's
see
true.
my teachers. I see my teachers all of a sudden like spring up from how I'm
Hmm.
approaching things, and
Yeah.
it's quite interesting time.
Yeah. Moving forward, and like you said, you're moving back in person. I'm slowly moving back in person too, and I'm
Mhm.
I'm loving it. How do you think this? Do you think we're going to be continuing online? I know myself, I've gotten students that don't live anywhere near me. Do you think that this online education is going to be just part of what we do, or do you think people are going to want to just be back in person?
I want to be back in person, to be
Yeah.
honest. But it's a good option, especially if I have a cold, for example.
Yes.
That,
Yeah.
the option of not spreading that to my
Yes.
students and around, and just to stay home, and I'll just tell my students today I have a cold. We're gonna do it online.
Yeah.
Just to have that option, um, is nice.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
no, yeah,
nice.
or bad weather and stuff too. If
Yeah,
there's snow,
exactly.
yeah,
I
because that
used to
always threw me,
have
especially in the West Coast. The one
I
snowstorm.
I used to have a scheduling conundrum every time there's a snowstorm because I run a very tight schedule in a sense because I have too many students. I've accepted to be I shouldn't have that many students, but
Okay, I'm in the same boat. Trust me, I'm in the
sometimes
same boat. I know it's
so,
like it's good, but it's also bad.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, my husband was like, "You're taking another student?" It's like, "Really?" Because that takes away time from him.
exactly.
so
Yeah.
so but yeah, I used to have a scheduling conundrum, but with this, there's a
Gonna
snowstorm, we'll
streamline
take
it,
it
right?
online.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Any sort of last words of advice that you can give teachers moving forward in this after this crazy year and a half that we've had?
Um, hmm. Just my advice, I guess, last word is like what I said in the beginning, um, is to see how you can turn that any compost, any situation into a flower, and
Yeah.
see how you um, can transform for me, it's all about transformation. How can I transform things and make it to something uh, beautiful? How can
Hmm.
I remember in the beginning of the pandemic when everybody was panicking, I transformed that into like teaching opportunity. I taught my colleagues,
Yes, they
I
were
was like
awesome
a,
stuff you were doing. Oh, I enjoyed it
yeah,
so much.
and I became a tech support. Yeah, I told my
Oh,
friend
I learned tons of stuff from you. Yes.
just call anytime.
Yeah.
So little things like how can I always with that mentality, it will make you less tired
Hmm.
because then you're not kind of watering the seeds of frustration. You're actually watering the seed of proactiveness. It's what can so that's my I guess my one of my biggest advice on
Hmm.
how to and always take care of yourself. You
Yes.
have to take care of yourself because the pandemic was hard enough for us individuals, and
Hmm.
and if we don't take care of ourselves, then we can't really take care of others, our students and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be. I think it's be creative.
Be
The more
creative. Yeah.
when things seems quote unquote shitty, we can still that can still be turned into something a little bit better than shitty.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, true.
Yeah.
And considering like I like myself, like when this hit, I was like, oh, maybe kids are gonna like not want to do music because like they're gonna be, like it's just not gonna work. All these weird thoughts that go through. And one thing I for myself, I realized this is what's gotten kids through is music lessons. And
Hmm.
so we played a really important role, I think, even though we didn't really realize it at the time.
I was actually shocked when with the festivals and all because I have students I haven't seen for a year and a half in person.
Yeah.
And they've been entering festivals and like it's been more record breaking. Like more
Yeah.
students have won festivals and competitions,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
this pandemic. And I guess, um, and a lot of it I was just banking on a lot of things I've already taught them, like technique,
Hmm.
that they know. So I'm working with that because it's really hard to teach touch and
I
all that.
know touch is really hard to teach. Yeah.
So I banked on what they already know, from previous
Hmm.
techniques that I've taught them, and that has it was actually enough to
Yeah.
have them to make them survive for that year and a half of and
Yeah.
still thrive. And then we still did our studio classes often online and
Hmm.
adapted, but yeah, now I miss hugging them.
I know. I know.
Like even just
I know.
virtual, like I
I
mean,
know. It's
just
like,
far away. At least it's there.
yeah,
So
I know. I miss the like the little ones who just like they'll be putting their shoes on and then they just like dive into you and give you this big hug and then they run off. I miss that.
yeah.
One day soon,
Well,
hopefully.
yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
We're fully vaccinated because we're caring for my mother-in-law. We
Hmm.
we were one ahead of the
Oh,
vaccination. We've had the Pfizer shots way ahead of a lot of people, and so I mean it's mostly to protect her.
yeah, yeah,
We
of
haven't
course.
when we moved to our new home. We haven't even had our because of COVID and everything our our family over. We've been kind of
Very careful. Yeah,
isolated. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but it's
yeah,
okay. Yeah, it will
yeah.
come.
Yeah, it will come. It will come close, slowly, slowly. Yes. So, where can people find you? And especially as things wrap up, hopefully you'll have a concert. And so, how can people find you?
Um, I'm mostly doing a lot of online master classes. So yeah, usually on Facebook before, right? But I'm not on Facebook as much.
Yeah. So,
So
is on
maybe,
your website? Should they look up your website? Is that
yeah, probably I have to do a better job updating that too. Um, yeah, just search on YouTube. There's probably some masterclass lingering on under my name somewhere. Like usually people, the organizers posts, like masterclasses and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was younger, like this whole self promotion was kind of big,
Yeah.
but I just don't have that urge
Yeah, it's
anymore.
tiring.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
tiring.
I'm not only that it's tiring. I realized that I never really needed it. You know, and that's why yeah, but this year my students have won so many competitions, and it's like I didn't even want to post it on Facebook because I realized I don't need it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
needed.
especially like, I mean, once your students do well in festival and stuff,
Yeah,
that's why I think it's so important to put students in festivals and not just for them themselves, but also for us as teachers, because it really shows the community what our abilities are. And then that's how we get students, right?
yeah.
They tell their friends, well, yeah, they're a good teacher. And some kid wants to take lessons and then they call you, right?
And
So
so
it
yeah,
really creates that.
I think that's why my online presence has been reduced uh, quite a lot in the last
Mm-hmm.
year. Is because of that, and it's because I went a lot inward. And the funny thing is, the less I do that, the busier I become. You know, the more, yeah, my wait list is much longer now than it ever was, and and yeah, like master classes, adjudication, I've been the busiest, and it's when I actually advertise the least,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
put like self
Yeah,
promotion.
I've noticed that too. It's strange.
Yeah,
Like I used to do Facebook ads and all this stuff. And now I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
well, I don't
yeah.
want, yeah. And they just keep calling.
It's almost like law. Yeah, it's a law of laws of attraction too.
True.
It's because
True. True.
when you don't, you feel like you don't need it. You know, there's a sense of abundance,
Yes.
and then because of that sense of abundance, you know that more abundance attract abundance. So
Mhm.
I guess that feeling of I it wasn't really needed, um, kind of helped it in a
Yeah.
sense.
You never know. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
sense, yeah. So
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Thank you
So
so
just
much.
focus on your students, focus on yourself, and focus on your students.
Yeah, because your work will speak volumes.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole a part of the realization that I I had was that it speaks volumes, and
Hmm.
we just let it speak for itself, and it will happen, and things are happening because the conditions are just right for it to happen, you know. Otherwise
Yeah.
it won't happen. So
Yeah. 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 Awesome. Well,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Oh, no, thank you. This has been awesome. I think a lot of teachers will find value in this. So thank you so much. It's been wonderful catching up and yeah, and talking. Well, I love talking about this stuff. So,
Well, thank you for inviting me.
oh, thank you. All right. Well, have a wonderful day teaching and we'll talk soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Bye.